So let's go back on that. Bill pictures me as a Disney princess.
Yeah, I mean, you're just always busy. I assumed you had little animated butterflies following you around.
So guys, today we have an update on the Cormaro project. It has been, what, 2 weeks since we've really made a video. And the reason is the body shop has been busy and Bill has been juggling. This is his main job. And then Bill's a pretty, I'm trying not to cuss, a very good mechanic. Let's put it that way. So anytime we have suspension work come through the shop, Bill jumps off this project and starts doing stuff. Mainly he works on the lift. There's a trailer right here that he put an axle under in no time. I've never put an axle under a trailer. I don't know, had you before? Yeah. Okay, so Bill did it. We had a hard time sourcing the axle, but he knocked it out. So one of the things he's been juggling, with the motor in here, the exhaust hit the frame rails just barely. Like, yeah, you could still squeeze a piece of paper between it, right?
Yeah, but when it was running, we assumed it would.
Yeah, so with the torque of the motor, the torque, what do they call that?
Torque? I don't know.
So anyway, he put some notches in these frame rails. Dude, check these out. This is artwork to me. Mainly, I know what it takes to do work like this. I mean, he hasn't even hardly ground these welds yet. He's just knocked the tops off of them. This is done in what gauge?
This is quarter here.
1/4 inch. These frame rails aren't going anywhere. And keep in mind, the subframe bolts down here to the bottom. Now, we will likely get some hate for this, but we kept the factory 67 Camaro mounting locations for these frame rails. Now, keep in mind, these mounting locations held all the torque from the original motor with the transmission sitting right here. Our new design, there's a torque tube here. So all the torque from the engine is distributed to the rear end. So I didn't see a point in building a whole bolt-on lower exoskeleton frame design. We juggled that option, but then the underside of the car, you would see that frame. So we integrated all this support from these mounting locations into the rocker panels, and that distributes that weight onto the rear, hopefully so that when we launch, of course we're gonna launch this thing, hopefully we don't have too much torque roll, which was the whole reason for the torque tube, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, Corvette thought of this, why not just take their design and roll on? Like Bill said, every piece of metal here is 1/4 inch. The only thing 67 Camaro is actually, it starts up to here, correct?
Yep.
We overlapped a good little bit, just like we would do in the collision industry. We use the original frame rail as a sleeve, and then everything new is welded on top of it. So from here, we have a lot more cleanup to do. Bill, will we re-sandblast these and start over?
Probably all the way down so we can get those big scratches out of the way before we start paint work.
And of course, like right here, that was probably a handprint on Friday last week. And then the Oklahoma humidity over the weekend, now we have a little bit of rust. So we'll bring it in the booth, we'll sandblast it, most likely re-epoxy. And then I would like to sit on a stool and make these perfect. This car deserves it, especially from here to here, where you're going to see this once the vehicle's done. Now, the next step, you're welding tabs on to do the hidden panels, right?
Right, to come off of here.
So what do we call these? We're building panels. We want to see all of this under the hood, but from here up to the fenders, we want some blackout panels of some sort. That way it hides anything that we need hidden underneath it, whether that is wires or the AC lines, whatever. We want this engine bay to be clean. I'm not interested in the engine bay having 0 wires. I think some of those builds, they don't look realistic.
Yeah.
This car will be driven. So we want it to be realistic and easy to work on. So these will likely have some Zeus fasteners on them. And then inside the fender well, we'll have some more Zeus fasteners. That way you twist them, take them out. If I'm on the side of the road and I need to get in there, I want to get in there quick. So originally, Bill, these are 2 wheel wells for 67 Camaro, correct?
Right. Well, some of it is. And they go like that. That's how they'll end up. I mean, all this is new metal, obviously. And this is new metal through here.
And of course, Bill had to make the notches that go around the frame rail. Now, from what I understand, I wasn't here when you took this apart, Bill, but you said these were impossible to get in and out, correct?
Yeah, I would think the guy putting it together would cuss my name, so I assume we'll need to.
So Bill had an idea to split these either in half or maybe thirds to make this easier to work on. The process of that won't be very difficult, of course. We just want it to look good on the inside with as few fasteners as possible. And I've got a feeling, could you make a channel where one slips in?
That's kind of what I was hoping to do, yeah. Probably this section here separate than this section here.
Good deal. And we have a good seam right there. We can just cut apart. I'm good with that. Okay, so those are our wheel wells. So originally, Bill spent, how long did you spend on wipers before it went over to Blaine's?
3-4 hours making a new motor.
Oh, I thought it was 3 or
fit.
4 days. Okay.
No.
3 or 4 hours is good. So we decided to delete the wipers completely. This car will not be driven in the rain. Not a chance, not gonna happen. So Bill will chop those out. And I'm thinking we will delete the vents as well. These cars look really good with a smooth cowl.
Yeah.
I could buy one, but why? We've already done some work to this to make it match the fenders. And I mean, what are we talking to get that shaved? 1 day solid?
If you just slowed around, probably 1 day. Have it under epoxy anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, it might be marginally cheaper to buy one, but I don't think they're going to come in as good of shape as this one is now that we have already added to it. I think we added to one side, shrunk the other side to make it fit the fenders perfectly. So what are we doing under here? Because this gets a weather strip to the hood, correct?
Yeah, we just made this. It just bolts on here with certs on there.
Perfect. Okay, so now onto the car. This is where Bill has spent most of his time. Bill, do you want to explain the angle iron?
This is just to keep it straight for, so when we go to body working, we don't have to put a bunch of mud or nothing there. So this just holds the whole frame straight right now. I welded it, I'll grind it, and then I'll hammer and dolly some of it like this, and it'll be perfectly straight when I put that skin right there on it. And it'll just kind of hold it from that way. When I tag it, it doesn't like pull little spots around.
Perfect. Are we going to use the big spot welder, or are you going to plug weld all that?
We haven't figured out. Me and Charlie talked about using the spot welder, so if I can, I'll get in there with that.
We have, in the collision industry, of course, we have a good spot welder. I like to use it anywhere we can. Of course, getting up in here will be impossible, so at least these top ones won't. Actually, yeah, we can get in on these, but these top ones won't be able to do that. But use the spot welder everywhere we can. It's a far superior weld. Even with how good of a welder he is, you can't beat 7,000 volts going through it. That's hard to beat. So we just bought a flat sheet of metal to make this cowl out of. They sell shaved cowl panels, but why? This arch that Bill redid, it's not gonna match up to anything we could buy anyway. We had a more rectangular arch, but the AC box hit it, correct?
Yep.
So guys, that's part of this project is we know enough to be dangerous, but this has never been done again. So when we have to step back and redo something, we try not to let it get to us. Of course, it's going to eventually. I've talked to Bill about it in the past, and his response is, my paycheck clears every week. So I
like to build stuff, man. I mean, straight up, let's do it. I'm always forgiving of him when we make a mistake, and then he's forgiving of me when I tell him to make a mistake. So right. we try to be legit like that. Can we take this off to show the tunnel? Can.
Yeah. Okay, so Bill, what all did we have to change here from the original design? I know you threw these angles on it.
Yeah, we had to cut away all of this and make all of this wider for the torque tube to come up here, and then it was kind of extra over here, so we cut this in to make it round to tuck it in behind the torque tube.
Perfect. And this is 14 gauge, correct?
All of it's 14 gauge, yeah.
So that's part of the original idea, was make all of this. This stuff is technically not important, but we want it to be strong. That way, every bit of this unibody car I mean, in the wording, the body of the vehicle is part of the frame. So we want to keep it strong, but I don't want to have to do 2 layers of 18 gauge to make it strong. This is 1 layer of 14. If anything crazy, if this transmission catapults, wait, that's not the right word. What am I thinking of? Explodes, and there's pieces coming out of it. It's hitting 14 gauge.
Yeah.
Hopefully not my legs.
Right.
So I didn't realize in the earlier videos, we have not welded the torque tube yet. So he slid it out and we have a plan to get it welded. We'll make a video start to finish on welding the torque tube. We have an Oklahoma engineering way of doing that. We've got it pretty well mapped out, don't we?
Yeah, we hold it real still. That's what we do. We have a fixture. Yeah,
just
we
don't
bolt it
breathe.
too, that it doesn't allow it to move.
Hold your breath while
Nothing
you're welding.
special. Yeah.
So outside of that, Bill, I noticed you redid some of the brake mounting. What do you have to do here?
We had the Corvette one inside of there, and I mean, it's just a huge piece, but I had notched it all out for it to fit in there. And this is the Willwood one that you brought in. That's all the.
So this gives clearance on the inside.
That whole little deal fits in there for the Willwood system. The 4 bolts attached to it here, and then it sticks through the firewall, obviously, to push your booster.
Perfect. And then of course, here's one mounting location, and the next one's way back there for the subframe to go. And if you notice, he's welded this all solid to our 14 gauge. Heck, it's been years now. We actually had this cap off when we redid the flooring on the inside. This is all triangulated, super strong. That way, when the frame rails mount, there's nowhere they can go. If it twists this body, we've got some serious torque.
Yeah,
I don't think it could be possible.
1/4 inch angle iron inside the rocker all the way down.
And if I remember right, it's 1/4 inch angle plus a tube welded to it.
All the way through the center of it.
And then we cut out the floor, stitch welded it. We didn't weld it solid. We have my theory is what does not bend breaks. So if we weld this thing solid, over the years of this thing rolling, we'll have some cracked welds. We don't want that. So we left some gaps for flex. We are leaving the hole. This is where all the wiring is going into the body, correct? So it'll hopefully everything coming through this side and then up and over through the dash to get to the other side. So next steps, Bill, we're going to drop the transaxle out of the rear, correct? And then we have to fab up some mounts to mount this thing to the rotisserie. We'll flip it upside down and make some more videos on that. Just how we're gonna finish out the bottom. Part of me wants to make this thing just slick, one solid piece underneath. Another part of me wants it to look factory underneath. So guys, comment on that, what you want. There's 2 routes to go to this, and it's not been done before. There are some really cool builds though that have solid undersheets that are beautiful. Our plan on this is inside and out will be painted matte black. And next time you guys see this thing together, it will be getting the motor drop back in, correct? Mm-hmm. And from there, we will be at Coffee and Cars. Most likely definitely not August.
No, that's a week.
I think September or October may be legitimate. October's looking much better. There's a lot of work to do, a lot. Oh yes, we are gonna paint the inside matte black, so it'll look similar to the bottom of those doors, mainly for rust. This will all get sound deadened and carpeted, so we're not really worried about the finish, other than we don't want any rust whatsoever. You can actually see the tube that Bill fabricated. I have never mounted round into square, but he did a really good job. I don't think a first-year welder can do that, can they, Bill?
Enough time probably, but not in the time you wanted it done.
Not in the time Bill got it done. Hey guys, that was a quick update. I think from here, we're going to run over to Blaine's. He has some videos of the engine being taken apart. There is some really cool stuff going on, a lot of ICT billet. I think we're waiting on main bearings would be it. And then he'll get that motor put back together and he'll be waiting on us. So stay tuned. There will be an engine building video coming, and we will have lots of just little snippets here and there. If there's something you want to see, we've got to know about it. Comment,